None of us were prepared for the truth. I saw her again 3 days later. Without the throne, she looked different. Smaller somehow. Vulnerable. "You fear me," she said. "Yes," I replied honestly. "But not the way you think." She studied me as if dissecting a paradox. "You risked your species with careless speech." "Why?" "Because I'm human," I said. "We cope with fear by laughing at it." Her eyes dimmed. "Then your species is deeply afraid." That should have been a joke. It wasn't. The empire reacted badly. Noble houses challenged the bond. Priests called it heresy. Military leaders whispered rebellion. The idea that a human, fragile, emotional, illogical, now held legal authority over their queen was unacceptable. I wanted out. I begged for exile. Execution. Anything. Zyravalith refused. "You are not my prisoner," she told me. "You are my mirror." What does that even mean? I snapped. "It means," she said quietly, "that I can no longer ignore what I feel." That was when I realized something terrifying. She wasn't angry. She was curious. Halfway through the bonding rites, the first assassination attempt came. A gravity failure during a ceremonial ascent. I was supposed to die. The queen wasn't. Instead, Zyravalith shielded me with her own body, her bio-armor flaring as the platform collapsed. She nearly died. As medics swarmed her, she gripped my hand. Something no Karzal sovereign had ever done publicly. "Do not withdraw," she whispered. That moment shattered the empire. And something inside me too. They told me the truth during her recovery. The bond wasn't symbolic. It was biological. The Karzal evolved with paired neural matrices. Alone they were stable. Paired they were powerful. Emotional. Creative. Dangerous. Their empire had been built on suppressing that second half. I wasn't a husband. I was a catalyst. What I saw next changed everything. As Zyravalith healed, the empire began to change. Art returned to sterile halls. Music echoed where silence once ruled. Soldiers hesitated before annihilation. Diplomats listened instead of calculated. And through me, the queen felt it all. Joy. Fear. Love. Love terrified her most. "Humans are reckless," she said one night, stars drifting above us. "You destroy yourselves for feelings." "Sometimes," I admitted. "But sometimes we save each other too." She considered that. Then she leaned closer. The final challenge came from the High Strategos, a warlord who believed emotion was weakness. He invoked trial of severance. Either I died, or the queen abdicated. The empire watched. Zyravalith chose neither. She chose war. Side by side, human unpredictability and alien precision shattered centuries of doctrine. The Strategos fell. The trial ended. The bond held. But victory came at a cost. The queen could never return to what she was. Neither could I. Earth sent a message weeks later. They wanted me back. A hero. A symbol. I looked at the alien world that had become my home. At the queen who no longer sat alone on her throne. "I joked once," I replied. "I won't make that mistake again." Zyravalith smiled. A real one, learned from me. Together, we watched a new empire rise. And somewhere between fear and laughter, two species learned what it meant to choose each other. Because sometimes, the smallest joke can change the universe forever. The moment the alien queen stopped breathing, I knew my stupid joke had just rewritten the future of two worlds. She stood 3 meters tall, all silver skin and luminous eyes, the throne room humming with gravity stabilizers and ancient power. 1,000 alien nobles froze with her. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. "I accept," she said, her voice echoing like a verdict carved into stone. That was when the alarms began to scream. I was never supposed to be there. I was a linguist, just another Earth specialist shipped off-world to translate human idioms for a civilization that conquered star systems before we invented electricity. The Karzal Empire didn't need diplomats. They needed context. And humans, apparently, were a dangerous source of it. They had brought us to their orbital citadel after Earth signed the Survival Accords, which was a polite way of saying we surrendered without firing a shot. No invasion. No fleets over cities. Just one transmission that proved they could shut down our satellites, our nukes, and our power grid simultaneously. We complied because we wanted to live. That was only the beginning. The queen was called Zyravalath, sovereign of the thousand-fold throne. To her people she was sacred. To us, she was terrifying. Her species didn't smile. They didn't joke. Their language had no direct translation for sarcasm, metaphor, or flirtation. That detail would have been useful to know earlier. The throne room was a cathedral of alien design. Floating platforms, living crystal walls, constellations rotating beneath transparent floors. I stood at the center, a single human in a pressure-adapted suit, translating for a room that could crush me with a thought. Zyravalath leaned forward, her gaze piercing straight through me. "Explain," she commanded, "why humans bind themselves in permanent pair bonds despite biological inefficiency." I swallowed. This was day 37 of my assignment. I was exhausted, scared, and painfully aware that one wrong word could doom Earth. "Well," I said carefully, "marriage isn't always logical. Sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes it's humorous." Her eyes flickered. "Interest. Humor is irrational," she replied. "Demonstrate." That was when I made the joke. I gestured weakly, nerves pushing words out faster than thought. "I mean, back on Earth, if someone teases you, you might say something like, 'You'd make a cute wife,' even if you don't mean it literally." Silence slammed into the room. Zyravalath straightened. The nobles hissed in unison. My translator implant screamed error warnings. Then the queen froze. Seconds stretched into eternity. I could feel my heart trying to escape my chest. "I accept," she said. And nothing would ever be the same again. The alarms weren't for me. Not immediately. They were for Protocol Breach Omega Prime. A sovereign acknowledgement of a binding proposal. A proposal, according to Karzal law, that could never be refused once spoken aloud and accepted before witnesses. I tried to explain. Gods, I tried. "It was a joke," I insisted, voice cracking. "A misunderstanding. I didn't mean." "Meaning is irrelevant," Zyravalath replied calmly. "Intent has been established through declaration." Her gaze softened. "That was worse. Human," she continued. "Do you withdraw your genetic claim?" The chamber leaned closer. I didn't know what a genetic claim was, but the way her guards tightened their grip told me refusal wasn't an option. "I don't understand," I said. "Then you will," she answered. And that was when they took me away. They didn't throw me in a cell. That would have been merciful. Instead, they placed me in royal quarters larger than my entire apartment back on Earth. Servants attended my needs. Medical drones monitored my vitals. Every luxury imaginable was mine. Because property is treated well. That truth hit me during the first cycle of isolation, when a Karzal historian explained what I had done. Queen Zyravalath was bound by ancient law. She could only rule while unpaired. A mate would not be a consort, but a counterweight. A living check against absolute power. Her people believed love was chaos. Dangerous. A destabilizing force. So they locked it away in ritual. By accepting me, she had surrendered half her authority.